Hi, it's the Papa again. I'm here to talk with you today about a few things that are very important. First is about what's going on Earth right now. Uh, I know you guys just had an election down there, and Donald Trump is your new president for United States. And it's very interesting because he says he wants to make America great again. It's that again portion that I have a little problem with because I'm not so sure that America was ever that great in the past. Everyone's worried that Donald Trump seems to think he's a king, and that's getting everyone upset, I noticed, and they're all protesting, and they are having all sorts of problems with each other. It looks like you're dividing into two groups of people that kind of hate each other. That kind of reminds me of what's going on my planet, which is Babbelon. It's an interesting planet. I could go on and on and on about Babbelon, but I just want to bring up a couple points for you today. First of all, we have a similar problem. On Babbelon, we have two groups of people. We have the Papas on the one side, that's the side that I'm come from, and the Meanies on the other side. Now, both sides hate each other. It wasn't always that way, but they've grown to hate each other. Neither one understands the other. The Papas tend to think of themselves as the good guys. The Meanies would think of themselves as the good guys, except they like being mean, so they want to think of themselves as the bad guys, and that's how they act. And my feeling is that we should all just try to get along and work together. But right now, we're both fighting each other. The Papas have, everyone on Babbelon actually has three names, the last one being Papa or Meanie. That's how you can distinguish each other, because you look the same. It's not that you look different. You all look the same, but you're just, it's how you behave that becomes a distinguishing factor. My name on Babbelon is the Sample Papa. My middle name is Sample. And you probably heard about my grandson if you've been watching my videos. My grandson is little buddy Meanie. I didn't know that when I first met him. He was standing down at the end of my driveway, and I went down and saw him there. He was actually getting something out of my mailbox, or putting something in it. I'm not quite sure, but he seemed like a very nice kid. So I kind of took him in, and he became my grandson. As time went on, I found out that he actually was a Meanie. He wasn't a Papa after all. And you can tell from some of the videos that you've probably seen of mine that we had all sorts of things going on between him and I. I've been trying to get him to come around, but it's a hard task when you're dealing with a Meanie, because that's the way they are. Now, for me, you should know a little something about me. I have a sister. Her first name is Ann, A-N, and her last name, or middle name rather, is Nee. She actually moved to China. She's been down there for quite a while, but she comes back to visit. So she calls herself down there Annie, because it's a little bit easier for people to communicate with her. She came back, though. That's how this whole thing got started. She came back. She brought me a couple gifts. One of the gifts was two puppies. You probably heard me talk about those in some of my videos. Papa Puppy number 1 and Papa Puppy number 2. They're great little dogs. A little loud on occasion, but they're great little dogs. She also brought me back a computer. We don't have computers up here on Babbelon. So the computer is what opened my whole world. It was my window to your world. It's through the internet, that I can see all about Earth, and especially all about the United States. That's how I found out about Donald Trump. But the internet is something that I've found to be just an exciting thing in my life. It let me realize that I could get involved in some of those music videos. I copied a few from what I saw from some of the singers down on Earth, and makes me happy to do those. You know, I'm trying to get a message across to everyone. And I'm trying to get little Buddy into being a little Buddy Papa. That's turning out to be quite a task. Meanies just seem to have this one little extra thing in their personality where they just don't want to listen. They just don't want to ever get along. No matter how hard I try with him, he always ends up being a little bit mean. So I guess is where they get their names from in the first place. But hopefully someday we'll get everyone here on Babbelon together and we can live as one race. We'll combine the name from Papas and Meanies into being Peenies. And if we can all just live together, things will be fine. I hope the same happens for you down on your planet. I think you've got a little bit farther to go than we do up here on Babbelon. Thanks, and I'll be talking to you again. Goodbye.